are you?
Every time I do that, everybody goes the oh what?
Okay, so general discussion. I'm assuming there is no general discussion. Is there any general discussion?
Are we supposed to welcome that new guy in red?
We are, but I think I have to make it official by creating a, what do I have to do, Alan? Write a letter?
It's got to go to Kelsey so that she can put on for the next first selectmen's meeting or something like that. It's got to go through that office next because it's gone through us. So now it's got to go through them.
We'll make it happen, Steve. We appreciate you.
Does that mean I'm not getting paid yet?
No, your pay will be retroactive.
Just, you have to live on your signing bonus for now.
Okay, I'll
Just
see
for
what I can
now, till spring training's over. All right, I'm guessing there's no general discussion. So now it is approval of minutes from December 26th, and I know that's not going to happen. I promise I will get these minutes put together when I stop working 80 hours a week. Well, 60. And then what's next? Is it director's report? No, ARPA discussions. Is that you, Stu?
Is he here?
I thought Stu was 6C CRF1. Who's that?
Yes.
Let's do.
Oh,
Okay.
Stu, can you hear us? No.
Oh, he's gone.
Uh-oh, you scared him, Joe.
I know, that's who I am.
Well, I can say something about ARPA. Not in the general ARPA thing for the rest of the town, but concerning us. Okay, he's back. I talked to Carl last week, and I am going to meet him at the park on Thursday morning. That's where he wants to talk over everything that he wants to put into the RFP. And there's another new thing that popped up. I noticed on the track by the first garbage can that half of the cover to the electrical box is it's visible. So when I talked to Carl, I said, either it's all supposed to be covered or it's all supposed to be visible. It's one or the other. And he said it's supposed to be visible. So that's something else we're going to have to do. That's a super easy fix though. But when they come in to do that job, we can put that on there too.
you talking about those little green ground boxes?
Yeah. There's one right on the track. And I never noticed it. I think it was probably covered. Like it had, people had walked on it to the point where it got completely covered. And now it's you can see half of it. So
Yeah, we'd like to know where they are. Unless there's a plan of where they are, which I doubt.
But Carl could do an as-built, right? Locate them.
Might be good to have some dimensions on, well, I don't know.
I think they're already on the blueprint that we have for the park.
You got
So
6 of those in the shed, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, so that was the other thing that I talked with Carl about, adding those replacing those black boxes when they come in to do the project. We're gonna put it in the RFP so that way it gets done.
Okay. That means we got to get the rest of the ground boxes.
Well, remember that we are bringing up a few of those boxes to be above ground as well. So we might not need that many, or we might have all we need already. I'm not sure.
I think the rest of the ones that are out there are mauled, aren't they, by the lawnmower?
A bunch of them definitely are, but we might have enough to, unless we want to replace every single one. We might have enough to cover it right now. I'm not sure how many are in the shed though.
I think there's a half dozen.
Okay.
So maybe just go out and look, do a count and see what looks like it needs to be replaced. And if you need a few more, let me know.
Okay. Do those,
All right.
what about those, aren't those the same boxes for the water as well? Or are those different ones?
Same box.
Okay, so we might need, they're usually in pairs, right? Or in
Yep.
certain areas they are, so we probably do need more than 6,
Okay.
but I'll take a peek.
Okay.
Stu,
What else about ARPA?
I don't have anything else. I haven't gone to an ARPA meeting in a long time. After they approved
Okay.
us, I kind of didn't want to be in those meetings anymore, so.
I lost my audio. I think I'm back now.
Yep, we can
Can
hear you.
me?
Yep.
All right. So ARPA, we're at the end of the road for ARPA, and the money is running out. And we put aside a $50,000 contingency last meeting, just to make sure that those projects we have approved, if they need a little money to finish, we have that available. The outstanding projects at this point in the library, there's a little bit of controversy over what they want, how much money we have, and what we were able to approve. So that's ongoing. We need to take a closer look at some of the items they want. And I can't think of any else earth shattering with ARPA.
Okay.
Did I hear you say, Stuart, that our portion of the money is available?
Our portion of the money is available.
Okay.
Just have to do it appropriately, and I think Alan knows how to do that.
Beautiful. All right. So I think, what's next? Director's report?
I think so. All right,
Fire away, Director.
I have a lot of stuff today.
Oh, God.
Talk fast.
No, it's most of it's good. All right, high school basketball started up. That was a few weeks after. I tried to stagger everything. I had the instructional first, and then I had the little kids start, grades 3 through 8, and then we just had the third week of high school basketball. So, I know that I brought the spectator policy I made to you guys when I made it at the end of last season, and it has worked very, very well for the middle school. The coaches have all been really good. There's no yelling at the officials. Everybody's in line. The parents are in line. Nobody's saying anything. So that has gone great. Now I'm really happy with it. We have 3 high school teams this year. One of those teams, we had an issue. It was the second week of the season. After the game, we had multiple parents yelling very inappropriate things at the refs. And I think a part of that is because those high school teams didn't sign our spectator policy. So it just as a reminder, our high school teams it's Willington, Ashford, and Mansfield. So we all combined together, and they signed the paperwork through Ashford. So they don't have the same spectator policy that we do, which I feel like it spells things out very clearly. It gives a reasoning why it's this way, that sort of stuff. So they didn't sign that because they never saw it. So we had an issue, but that same team came back in on Sunday, and I talked to the crowd before the game started, and I just let them know they're not ever allowed to speak to a referee. It's not ever permitted. And if it happens, they're not coming back for the rest of the season. I let them know about, when a call is made and they're unhappy with it, I let them know what they can do. They can be upset about it. That's totally fine, but they're not allowed to voice that, and make a scene. They need to keep it to themselves. And there was no problem for that game. The other two teams that we have, they kind of have their coach's personality, I guess you could say, which is pretty laid back. They're there to have fun, and there's no issue. I feel like that kind of rubs off on everybody. The coach's personality and coaching style rubs off on the players, which rubs off on the parents. When you get a coach that wants to argue everything, and then the players start doing it, and then the parents feel like they're getting screwed, and that's what it turns into. So I think we've addressed that with that one team. So I don't think there'll be any more issues with the high school level. Wellington and Mansfield have been paired for the 5th and 6th grade postseason tournament. So that means that I'm going to take 6 teams. Mansfield's going to take 6 teams. That's the biggest division by far for the Lakes League. So we're each going to run a tournament February 11th, and the winner of each site will play the championship game on February 12th.
Nice.
Adult basketball started a few Sunday nights ago. Have you been playing in that, Mike?
No.
No.
Not yet.
I've been told, I haven't been there, but I've been told by Nick Simpson, who's the supervisor, that it's been pretty good attendance. When it started up again last year, he kind of brought his crowd with him. And I had a lot of people reaching out to me, which was the older crowd, the people that played there years ago that wanted to start playing again. So he said it's been a good combination, a good mix of people. So the attendance has been good. And the newer kids, because it's just adult now, it's not over 40 or whatever it was before. He said that last year or last season it was pretty competitive because everybody who came in was a younger player, but he said with this new group, this mix, it's been more laid back. People are just kind of having fun, and it's not super competitive. So
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard with the walker. When you use a walker, it gets a little difficult.
I thought your wheelchair was leaving marks on the floor.
I got the new wheels. It's much better.
All right, that's good.
So that's good to hear, and I'm happy about that. Family yoga has also started. That started 4 weeks ago, although we had to postpone last Wednesdays due to the snow. That's also been pretty good. I wasn't sure what to expect. I used Caitlin Draghi, who was somebody who ran yoga in the park for Maureen. And I think she does great. I think the class is good. I've been to every one of those. Not just, kind of get the registrations, take the money, because it's at the library. So I'm the one that has the keys for the library. So I want to be there for that. And it's going great. And we've had probably on average 8 people there. So as long as that group is interested in kind of being regulars, then my plan is to run it again. I want to keep going with it because right now it's only scheduled for 6 weeks.
Is that a pay by visit, or is it you sign up for the 6 weeks?
Both. So I
Yeah.
offered, it's $12 for a drop-in rate, but it's 6 classes. I offered $60 if you sign up and pay for all 6. So you save $10. Well, half the people did it. But I've had a lot of positive feedback with that.
Good.
What do I want? Okay, so I was planning out the summer, and I want to move the concerts in the park up. I'd like to start them mid-June and go to July 19th. And I do have a few good reasons for that. Last year it was unbelievably hot, and I really feel like that affected the attendance. I don't want to say there weren't that many people there, but I've heard of stories about how there used to be hundreds of people there. And we had one night, probably we had 100 people. Another night we had probably 70. And then the rest, it was, 30, 40 people. So that's the main reason that I want to move it up. The second is that I don't want it to overlap as much with summer camp. So last summer, the concerts in the park and summer camp ran the exact same time, 6 weeks in a row, and it made it very difficult. I was putting in huge hours every week to get that done. And I just feel like it would just be easier to run if I could have, 4 weeks where they're not overlapped. So that's the secondary reason why I would like to do that. I spoke to a few regulars that attend, and they all seem to welcome it. They said, they didn't have a problem with it. The other good thing about it is that if I do that, it gives a lot of opportunities in the event of rain cancellations. So there'll be a bunch of extra weeks at the end, which there normally wouldn't be. So it wouldn't be a huge deal if we had a rain out. We could easily move it, and we'd have, we'd have 4 weeks to make it up.
You're less likely to get thunderstorms at the end of the season like we usually do too.
Yeah.
Usually those hot August days, you get a lot of thunderstorm rainouts.
Yeah. So I just wanted to run that by the group. See what you thought about that.
Sold, do it.
Fine by me.
Okay. Next thing. So
How about
actually-
one more thing on,
Sure.
one more thing on the music nights? How about, what are you doing for food? Have you tried any of that out or thought about it?
So we had the concession stand open last season, and Human Services ran it, and I think it was good. I think people were satisfied with what we had. And she wants to keep adding on to that. Like you remember I talked to you, Joe. She wants to get a like a heating unit, because remember we were talking about how we can get pizza and resell it, but because it doesn't count as making the food. So that's another thing that she wants to do, is buy one of those, and then just give more options to people besides what she had. So I like that. And I never really liked the idea of having to pay a food truck to come out, so people enjoyed it last year. So I didn't really have anybody say, where's the food trucks? That's what there was, and people were okay with it.
And people could always stop and buy a pizza before they come.
People did do that. Yep.
And if you have drinks and chips and all the rest, no, I think you're going the right way. I think that's good.
Candy, ice cream, chips, soda, water, that sort of stuff. Okay, where are we at here? Okay, so we picked out the dates for summer camp. So that would start July 10th and run through August 11th. We think that we're going to shorten it from 6 to 5 weeks, and there's reasons for that also. One of the big reasons is that the custodial staff, they had a difficult time getting the school ready after we moved out. They had a week left to basically clean all the areas that we used in the school, which was pretty significant. So this would be better for them. That's the first thing. The second thing is, this is something that I noticed. I feel like the kids on week 5, week 6, they started to get a little bored. They started to feel too comfortable. That's when the behavior sort of started to get worse. So the other thing is that the counselors, they totally got burned out. So I feel like it would help everybody if we just cut that from 6 to 5. It would help out the school, it'd help out us, the kids, everything. And since we were supposed to get, or we are getting money from ARPA to help pay for this, any money that we don't use, because we would save it on salary, again, we would put it right back into summer camp and buy things, for the program that last, which is what we've been trying to do. Instead of, wasting money on one-time things, like field trips and stuff like that, buy fun things that we can use for multiple years. So that's what we would do with that extra money. Bus trips. I basically got an invite from Sherry, the Ashford director, to join their bus trip group. So what happens is each town will coordinate one trip, organize the whole thing, and then it's offered to the rest of the towns. So we're gonna offer 5 trips. I think the first one might be in April. Not 100% sure on that. So basically each town is creating one trip, but you get to offer more than one, which is nice. And the one that I'm doing is a December trip. It's the Polar Express. So it's a train ride, and I think it's in Essex, Connecticut. And it's very, very popular. Like the tickets sell out all the time. It's hard to get tickets for that. So that's going to be Willington's trip. That's going to be the one that I'm trying to coordinate, which is cool because I don't think they've ever offered anything like that before. I think people kind of get bored with the same trips all the time. Not that we've offered them the past few years because of COVID, but it's always go to Boston and do this, and go to a sporting event, and go to Rhode Island and do this. But it's just usually kind of the same stuff. I think this is fresh, and it's actually something that I think is good for families, which is what I try to think about that a lot. What can we do that kids would like? I had all the signs made that we talked about for River Road and the baseball fields. They're in my office. I'm gonna get them out there when it warms up a little bit. But I'm happy with I put everything on there that we discussed. I know that was a big thing for a while, trying to figure out what we were gonna put on the signs, but that is all set. And the last thing that I have is the budget. I don't know if anybody took a look at it or not. I'm just gonna try and be brief with this. I left 3 things blank on here, and it was the landscaping. So I just wanted to give everybody a quick reminder of like what the situation is and what we want to try and go to. So currently Public Works and Parks and Rec pay for all the landscaping. But it's not equal. Parks and Rec pays like $20,000 towards it, and Public Works pays $8,000, something along those lines. We're all responsible for, individual areas, and the total amount that we pay is almost $28,000, obviously, because of those 2 numbers I just said. But what we want to do is make the next landscaping contract be like a flat rate, where the landscaper will do the entire town a minimum number of times. So we're going to come up with that minimum number, but if it needs to be done more, they'll do it more. If it needs to be done less, like last summer, when we had no water, then they make out on the deal and they have to mow less. That's what we want to do. I'm not really sure what I should put down for these numbers. I'm hopefully going to talk to someone tomorrow and get an estimate on what something like that would cost. I know that Public Works said they raised their budget about $1,000. So I was thinking you know, maybe if I add $1,000 to each, you know, field contract, you know, TOB, the schools and River Road, that might be enough. So that would be like a $4,000 more. That's the only, I mean, I can't really make an accurate estimate on this. I don't know what they would cost. But this would also include like not just all the work that they normally do, but work, like extra work that we've had the landscaper do, like around the back of the track at River Road. I had him come in for $500 and get rid of all the brush in back of the fence. So the brush comes back every year, you know? So it would include like one brush cleaning and one tree trimming and all sorts of stuff like that. So what do you guys think about that? About
We
just
pay him
adding-
to spray it?
What's that?
Can we pay him to spray the brush rather than the hard labor of removing it? Maybe spraying it would be cheaper.
It could be. I mean, I think that's something worth looking into if this doesn't work out the way we want it to, in terms of,
Okay.
you know, having him just do the work, all the work that we want for a flat rate. But it's not, you know, there's at the TOB field, there's like half the field on that little side hill has a bunch of brush there. You know, like that's another thing that we could throw in there, like, you know, keep that area clean, you know, so he could come in once a season and get rid of all that, you know, it's sort of the same thing as River Road, but that's
That
what we're
con-
looking to do.
Is that contract up this year?
Yes, I believe we're gonna have to have a new one made by July 1st. It's gonna go out to bid and everything. But this is the
You're gonna
tricky,
are you gonna create specific line items for these additional things you want done?
yeah, so it would all be included on the offer that we send out. You know, so we would Troy and I are gonna sit down and say, we want this done,
Okay.
and then send it out and see, you know, what comes back. But as I was just gonna say, like the tricky part about this, and this is what happened with Bethany. Bethany didn't know the cost of what the next contract was gonna be. So when she made up the budget for that year, she was way off. Like it was like $4,000 off, which is part of the problem that we had when I came in. You know, I was trying to figure out how we're going to pay all these bills because the town didn't give us money to pay for that because it wasn't budgeted properly. So now I'm in the exact same position here. I have no idea what that next contract would be, what that bid would be, but I have to write down how much money I need from the town right now. And I don't want to go crazy, you know, I don't want to say another, hey, give me another $8,000 because they're not going to go for that, you know.
Why can't you say it's another 8, and if the new contracts come in at 6, we give you the 2 back?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I could. I asked Donna today if I would be able to change these numbers at a later date. So like they need it by tomorrow. Well, obviously wanted to run it by you guys first, but I got to put something in there. And I asked her, would it be okay if I turn this in and then like a week or 2 later, or whatever the case may be, I get the actual estimate in and I'd be able to come up with you know, some good numbers for that. And she said, once you turn it in, it's in, you know?
Well, you can come back to us later and say, no, we don't like that number. You have to reduce it by 3%. Why can't we do that later? Reduce it by whatever the actual numbers come back as.
So, all right. So you
Yeah.
think I should go in real high on this and then go in? Cause the budget meeting is on Thursday.
Let's say we anticipate an increase of whatever, 10%, 15%, 20% over the previous contract. And should it turn out to be less, you can have the difference back. We're obviously not going to give the guy more
Right.
just because we have it.
Okay. I mean,
or
so that's what
send
I'll do then.
stamps.
I'll go in extra high and then I'll say that at the meeting. I don't know what they're going to say. You know, they could say, we don't like this at all, reduce it by whatever, who knows?
Is there a normal, is there an average amount that you raise the landscape amount every bid? What is the bid cycle? 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
So
I mean,
everything costs more, gas, labor, insurance. So every year it's got to go up a little bit, every budget.
So he did the landscaper did tell me, like, going forward, like, anything that he would do, like any contracts he would make with anybody, he would charge like an extra 3% or something for fuel costs, you know? So I don't know. I guess that's what I'll do. I'll put more. Like, it's the only thing I can do. I don't want to be under. That would be bad, because then we'd end up in the same position again, where
Yeah.
now we got to find thousands of dollars to pay for the landscaping, you know?
So if you had
Are we still
20%,
doing it?
you had 20%, what's it, $5,600?
I don't know. I'm not a math guy.
You said it was 28.
Gino,
You said you're paying 28,000 for
Yep.
landscaping. So 20% would be $5,600.
Okay. So then if Troy's putting an extra 1,000 in, then I would have to go up by 4 or something.
are we doing the same thing we've done in years past where we have a portion of it and Troy has a portion of it? You're gonna stick to that?
So what we would do is he's asking for whatever he's asking for. I'm asking for whatever I'm asking for. But in the end of the day, it's not going to be broken down like per item. It would just be like, him and I are going to pay all the money we have to the landscaper equally, like every month, you know, not equally in what Parks and Rec and Public Works do, but like Public Works, if he's whatever he gets divided by 12, or you know what I mean, and then pay that every month, and whatever I have divided by 12, and it makes it very easy, because the way that it is now is completely ridiculous. I'm 100% positive I'm the only person in the town that understands the whole landscaping thing. You know, it's total mess. It really is. You know, like,
Well, that's true, yeah.
whoever put it together didn't know what they were doing. You know, it's like, Public Works, you're going to pay have that strip of grass mowed over there by the fire hydrant. The school, you're going to pay for that little hill over there. Parks and Rec, you're going to pay for the field. You know, it's completely ridiculous. I get all the bills, and I have to break all the bills down and assign who pays what to finance.
Okay.
So I just want to, I want to get away from that. That's crazy.
Can you just say that you're gonna pull their portion of the landscaping, the Public Works into your budget? Weren't you kind of talking about doing that?
Well,
So that it's not being paid from two different budgets?
that's what I wanted to do, but that's not how it ended up, I guess. You know,
Okay, so it's the same.
yeah, we're
When's
both
the
gonna
last-
get money.
When's the last time you broached that subject?
Probably last month.
And what was it, just deaf? Nobody said anything? Nobody said a word, or?
I talked to Troy about it, and he had already submitted his budget. So he's on a different timetable than I am, you know. And obviously, you guys are proof what I do for the budget. You know, it doesn't go through the town, so he has to go through the town. I go through you guys, so we're on a different timetable. Which
So
is why,
I have a couple of questions. Why are we on different timetables is one question, and the other is, why are we negotiating the landscape contract halfway through the season? Why can't we why can't we do it at the start of the season, which is what we do for all of us? Why are we on a July timeframe? Is there something I don't understand? Is it a fiscal year thing?
yes, yep, it's the fiscal year. So the contract that we currently have will be up by July. So we need to start planning for the next one now, basically.
So that's the town's fiscal year.
Yeah.
Okay, July 1 to whatever, June
Yep.
30th.
And it will be a 2-year contract.
That makes sense. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
How do you get you and Troy on the same RFP? the same time frame.
Well,
In here, Stu.
we'll have to write it up. We're gonna write it up together. I mean, so that's something that we'll do shortly, like probably within the next 2 months is write up exactly what we want for the landscaping. But
Okay.
the budget is due now. So it's, even though it seems like they should go together, they don't. You know, the budget doesn't care about, you know, what we're doing for the landscaping. They want to get their stuff done now, and that's when it is, I guess, you know.
Is this the only thing that everybody, that we go in blind on? I mean, is there any other items in any town budget that people have to go in blind?
I don't know. This is the one blind thing that we have.
Just odd.
Yeah.
that We have to go in blind.
So some of, like, we have other things that we don't know how much money it's going to cost or how much money it's going to make, but it doesn't matter because we don't get money from the town for it. You know, like the town pays, as far as I know, as far as I understand it, the town pays for my salary, my assistant's salary, you know, and the landscaping. Like that's what they pay for. So everything else, like I can write, you know, it's going to cost $8,000 to run basketball this year, but they're not going to pay me that. Like,
We have
You
to-
gotta,
You're raising it.
we have
exactly.
to, we have to be self-funded. We're basically self-funded.
Yeah. So that's why, you know, we go in blind on a bunch of this stuff, but it doesn't really matter. You know, this is the
We
one
should-
that
Perhaps
matters.
we should put out the contract for landscaping. We should put bids out in January so we know come budget time what to put in. I
Yeah.
mean, the landscaper's gotta know he's doing nothing in December and January unless he's plowing snow. So he could sit down and figure out what he's gonna charge us for the following year come July,
Yeah.
then we know.
Is
I
there a
only-
certain time that you have to ask for that bid, or can you ask anytime?
I only know what I know because of Troy. I asked Troy, I'm like, when do we do this? Because I wasn't involved with the last one. And he said this is when we do it, and that's where we are. So it's probably gonna be, yeah, probably like 2 months from now. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe next month if we're early on it, but I'm not sure how long the process takes either. Obviously, it's probably going to take longer to write up what we want and send it out
Yeah.
than it takes to
Yeah.
accept it, you know?
that's the devil. That's the devil in the details, is the RFP. Yeah.
So,
But you can put an RFP out anytime. No one's telling you can't put an RFP out now. I mean, sooner the better, I would think.
That's not gonna help us for tomorrow if the budget's due tomorrow.
No, it won't do the budget.
But 2 years from now, if we put it out in December, then we'll know before budget time how much the landscaper's gonna charge.
Well, that's where I was
Yeah,
going.
If that's
this. We're
okay with
just-
the town, that's what we should do.
It's too late. We're too disjointed.
yeah. But you know, it'll be different next time as well. If we get everything to go the way we want it to, then we're going to already have kind of like that ballpark number. You know what I mean? So we can go, all right, we know it's going to cost $32,000 because that's what it cost last year. So now we'll raise it up a little bit to, you know, to account for gas and all sorts of stuff like that. But this one is like totally blind. Like I have no idea how much it would cost to do what we want. I just can't imagine it would be, you know, like if we're paying $28,000, I don't think it's going to be like $40,000, you know. Probably it's going to be a bump for sure, but okay. So that's what I'm going to do then. I'm going to go in big.
Yeah, just
But
throw them
don't
a
go
number.
crazy. What else are you asking for money on? How much more money are you asking for?
I will tell you the big changes. Most of it stays the same. Okay, so that was the big one. The next one is the electricity at the park. So I asked for a huge jump last year, and that was justified. And I actually asked for more, like, let me try and think this through. Okay, so originally per year it was $900 budgeted for electricity. But then all those other lights went in, and 6 months in, we had already reached $900. So I said, okay, so if that's gonna double, that's $1,800. So I asked for a little bit more than that, just in case the cost of electricity went up. So I asked for 2,000 for the year. Where is it? Yes, I asked for 2,000. So it was a little bit more than the double. And now I've heard that, obviously electricity is going to double again. So,
I don't know about double, but it's gonna go up.
because that all I heard about was it doubling,
30%.
January 1st.
Went up 30%, right? It went from 16 cents a kilowatt to 24 cents. What's that? 50%? 50%?
Yeah. And you're adding how many lights? What are we adding? A dozen lights out back or 9 lights?
8. I think it's 8 lights around the back.
So
Yeah, we're
that's
doubling,
probably,
we're doubling it, yeah.
that's more electricity.
So
Double.
what do you think with that? I mean, if it cost $1,800 with the new lights in there for 1 year, what do you think 8 more is gonna do? And then with the increase in the cost as well, with the kilowatt hour.
So are we shutting off the lights behind the track that we're gonna be adding? Are those gonna run year round? Or they're gonna be shut off with the other sports lights?
There's people walking there tonight in the dark.
Yeah,
I mean, if we run them till 10 p.m., that'll be consistent with what we have at the courts, right? Because we want people gone at a certain time anyway.
Yeah.
So
so we're gonna run them the same schedule as basketball and the swing sets and volleyball.
yeah, I think so. I
They
think that
won't run
makes
the
sense.
parking lot schedule.
Right.
So you're probably easily adding $600.
So 2,600.
Plus the extra electricity cost.
So you were doubling your 900 to 1,800?
So I did that already for this year. For like the last budget, I already did that. And then I went a little bit higher. So I brought it up from the original when I got here, it was $900 for the year. And last year I raised it up to 2,000.
So you
I
gotta
think
add.
you have to add at least 500 or 600 more. And the whole reason is those lights in the back of the track.
The new lights plus the increase, you're gonna have to add at least $1,000, I would think.
Yeah, more than that, Joe.
It's validated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to put lights in and then not run them, right? To save money. I don't
Right.
know.
Towns do it. Towns turn them off.
Okay. So we're thinking, what do you think a good number is for that then?
Sounded like the general consensus was $1,000.
Yeah.
That seems a little high, but who
3,000?
knows what electricity is gonna cost upcoming.
Okay. All right. 3,000 then. Just running down here real quick to see what else.
For the landscaping guy, why can't you just add? If the Board of Finance doesn't like our number later, they're gonna say, your number too high, you gotta come back with a reduction. So we double it. And then we put the landscaping out to bid, we get the bids in. And then when they say, no, your number's too high, then we'll have an exact number for what we need to add. So our number right now, what I'm saying isn't critical. But don't have it be less than what we need.
Right.
If anything, bump it more than you think you need. And then when you do finally get the actual quotes, hopefully that's soon enough so that before budget time,
Yeah.
before they have like 6 meetings by the time they get done.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think it's a big deal, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna fly with them, you know?
It's
Like,
easier, it makes us look better if we reduce it later than to say, oh no, we screwed up, we gotta add another $3,000.
yeah. Okay.
I don't think I'd double it, though. You don't really want to double it, do you?
No, but I'm exaggerating, but put a good amount on there so that, later when they say, oh, you're too high, we want you to come in 3% higher instead of 10% higher. You can say, well, we got our actual number for landscaping now. We can give you the exact number we need.
So what was our number previously?
Yeah, what is it?
20,000?
You said like
Yeah,
28.
the total number be from what Parks and Rec and Public Works pays is $27,955. I actually think that might be the exact number. So
But our
basically,
portion's 20.
yeah,
So we're not worried about his portion.
right.
So if you're gonna add 5% for gas, that's a G note. And then how much more? $5,000, Mike, $6,000?
All you're really looking, all it would be was an increase in his labor. So however much more he needs for his retirement account.
Huh, but Alan's looking for more things to be done.
Now, what's the
Not
scope
ju-
of
right,
work?
Alan?
Sorry, what's that?
You're looking for more jobs to be done for the landscaper, not just this, whatever he's done in the past, you're adding a bunch of other jobs, right? Cleaning
there is-
brush and other
Yeah,
things.
there are going to be a few extra things, but nothing that'll, that's gonna throw it off big time, I don't think. Like Troy's having him mow more parts of the town as well now too. Like he wants the landscaper to mow Hall's Pond. Normally Public Works mows Hall's Pond and the grass that leads up to the transfer station. So he wants him to take that over as well.
That'll be
But that-
on,
Yeah, it's
Go
on
ahead.
his. Yeah,
That's not your budget.
I know.
go ahead, Bill.
So,
Bill raised his hand. You're muted. Billy, you're muted.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Did you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
So I think if you add a G note for that 5% or 3% for fuel and whatever, and then put what more on top of it? I mean, how much more work are you looking for? $3,000 worth?
It's it's not a lot. I don't think it's that much.
Let's say 10, you add 10%. Add another two. Two
Okay.
plus the one, add 3,000 to this whole thing and
Honestly, that I was thinking
Invalidated.
3,000. That was the number that was in my head. But again, it's not based on any, knowledge that I have. It was just kind of a feeling and what sounds good, like an extra 3,000 sounds right. But
What you described, clean and brush and things like that, I don't think it's off the charts. So if you get another G note for gas, 2,000 more for the extra things you want done, maybe scale back some of those things.
that's
And
what
put it-
we'll have to do if the bids come in super high, like way more than we thought, that's what's going to come out. It's going to be like, okay, we'll take out the brush cleaning and take out the part where you trim down the trees, all that would come out.
if we run out of money, you just call them up and say, don't mow this week.
Realize this though, too, there's gonna be minutes for this if Joe ever gets them done. Plus, is this video public access?
It is.
So whoever's gonna bid on the mowing and landscaping knows that we're adding $3,000 to our budget. They're gonna jump on that. It's like we're giving away, we let the horse out of the barn.
As long as I don't have to deal with the way that is right now, I'll be happy with it.
I get that, but I mean, if whoever's gonna bid on this is gonna look back and see if they can see how much we're adding to the budget or see it, and they're gonna add that in the bid, so yeah, go 3,000 and see what happens.
Okay.
that's what I do. Just be done with it. Yeah.
You think that's enough, Mike?
Yeah, should work.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
On the electrical bill, is there any thought, what if we put solar on top of the, that little building that we got, what's it called?
Concession stand?
Pavilion?
No,
pavilion.
no, the
Oh, yeah.
other,
The pavilion.
the pavilion, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm brain dead. The pavilion,
I don't know how old the roof is and how much you can get up there. You could probably only get a few thousand watts up there. And then all you're gonna do is get, you're gonna have a meter that gets you a little bit of money back. You're gonna have to, the way the utility works, they're gonna loan you the money and take it off your bill. I don't know what the ROI is.
okay, no, I understand. Well, maybe I'll just look into it if you don't mind. I mean, I'm not, nothing's immediate, but just something to think about.
Yep.
I've,
Yeah.
I've
Alright.
heard different things with solar panels. I've heard that, people have to front the cost up front for it. And then I've also heard that sometimes you can sign up and they pay to put it on your house. So I'm not exactly sure what the real way is.
The
No, you
government
can
doesn't have
own
the
it,
subsidies,
release it. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
but the cost of it is based on government subsidies, which has been reduced, not increased. And I know the product costs less and there's more install, but so that makes the install less, but I just don't know if you can get enough on there to get an ROI to
Yeah,
make
it's
it
not a
worth
really
it. The only
big
way to
bang
find
for,
out,
it's not a big bang for the buck for that little piece. I don't know.
right, unless Alan, they will give you a free estimate. If you call Sunrun or who are the guys in Ellington?
Earthlight.
So maybe call Earthlight or Sunrun, but then again, you're a commercial or a municipal contract, so I don't
Yeah.
know how that makes it different either.
We pay a
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
we might pay a different rate as a town.
Less or more, less?
I don't know.
Well, speaking of the roof though, on the pavilion, that's a metal roof, right?
No,
No, it's shingles.
No,
No?
which it's
Shingle.
shingle, asphalt.
How old is that building now, that pavilion roof? 10 years?
Ooh, it's gotta be 15 at least.
So you're already 15 years into the roof. How long is that roof
it's
gonna
too late.
last,
It's
Mike?
not gonna
30?
work.
You got another,
Joe, they
25
won't do it on a roof
25
that's
years.
that old.
Right, I think the roof's
Joe,
too
they
old.
won't
I
do it
agree
on a
with
roof
that.
that's that old. Yeah, it won't work. It's too old. The roof is.
So
So,
are
all
we.
right. Anyway, I was just curious. I know, we can move on.
How many years did you think it's gonna last longer? 5 more? 10 more?
20.
30 total, 15 more, Mike?
Oh, another 25 years easily.
Okay.
Those are lifetime shingles probably now. 50 years.
Oh,
Alan, you could always call one of the companies that installs solar. They'll ask you to take a photograph of the roof and give you the dimensions, and they could give you a quick estimate with ROI.
okay.
Well, I'll look at, he doesn't have to do it. I'm thinking about checking it out at least for our own home, so I can at least talk to them when the time comes.
Sure.
All right.
What else you got, Al?
I mean, I'm just looking at the rest of this. It's roughly the same. Everything is pretty much the same. The summer camp numbers have gone up a little bit because last year I didn't include the ARPA funding in those numbers, and I should have. So the numbers have gone up this year. But yeah, I mean, it's mostly the same. That's the big stuff. The big increases. I dropped a couple other things. Like I dropped basketball a little bit because basketball used to be huge. Used to be like the biggest money maker for Parks and Rec. And the expenses were 8,000, so I was thinking about dropping it a little bit because I don't spend anywhere close to 8,000 on that now. Unless you think I should just kind of keep everything the same,
I don't think you should reduce stuff.
Yeah.
One thing I definitely changed was the Oh, sorry, I just kind of lost my train of thought. The concerts at the park. That we had a totally wrong number on there from a previous budget. I don't know if it was revenue or expenses. Must have been the expenses.
Don't they all, doesn't it pay for itself with sponsors or no?
It should, yes. Oh yeah, so the when I got here, the budget had $1,000 for concerts at the park, which is not even close to being accurate. You know, that number is supposed to reflect how much money that we pay every single performer, you know. So it's not like we have 5 performers at $200. You know, we have a 600, a 400, a 700, a whatever, you know. So I adjusted that number from 1,000 to 4,000 last year. And now after I have run it, you know, I think even that number was too high. So I went down to 3,000 because for six concerts, even if it's, if I'm doing my math right, like what, 500, even if the average was 500, it's not 4,000, it'd be 3,000, I think. Yeah, if it was the average was $500 per concert, that's what it would be max, 3,000. So I just lowered that from 4,000 to 3,000.
All right, but that's a program that doesn't pay for itself. You need money to pay for the bands. Oh, you're raising money from local businesses.
Yeah,
Sponsors.
I just made the number more accurate is what I did.
Okay, it doesn't reflect how much the town's gonna pay you.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you think your overall percentage increase is for the town's part of the budget?
So I didn't, you know, it's basically going to be that landscaping. That's going to be the big thing. Since I didn't fill those numbers in yet on this sheet, I'm not sure what the percentage increase is. It's just going to basically be the landscaping, whatever that turns out to be.
So what's your total budget from last time around?
Last year we got that's this is $152,822, but that's not really what it is though.
Oh, that's counting all your programs?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I don't really understand the whole process with Parks and Rec anyway. It doesn't really make sense to me. I get that the town, you know, needs to know how much that they're going to pay for, you know, my salary and the landscaping, but all of these other things that have nothing to do, like they're not giving us any money for it. I don't understand why the budget needs to be approved.
Shouldn't even be in there. Shouldn't
That's-
even be in it. Should be your salary, your assistant's salary, and the landscaping. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I think. That makes sense to me. You know, like why would anybody argue with me over the cost of basketball? You know, like
All
first
our
of all,
programs are self-funded. It doesn't matter. If we
Yeah.
lose money, if we lose money on the pond, we lose money on the pond.
so, but I don't think that's going to change.
All right.
So that's really all I got. I don't have anything else.
All right. That was good, Al. Now we got old business. Any old business? Negative. Any new business? Negative. Who wants to adjourn? Mikey P. Second?
I'll second.
Billy beat you to it.
All right.
Alan, I just gotta tell you, you've grown into this job.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
We look at this meeting compared to your first meeting,
Absolutely.
you're like an old salt now. That's a good thing.
Try my best.
You're
Job
doing
out.
great. I think you're doing great.
Keep up the good work.
All right, I shall.
All right,
Absolutely.
gentlemen. Anything else?
Go
Yeah,
Pats.
Before everybody
Grump.
goes. Hey,
I'll take care of you, Stephen.
I got one thing, not rec commission related, but so the missus joined the Wellington Scholarship Foundation again. So we're doing a fundraiser, a spaghetti dinner fundraiser in March. So if anybody's interested in coming, it'd be a great event to raise money for a good cause. So
Where's it gonna
Yep.
be posted, the date?
so I can send Alan the flyer. I mean, I think there was somebody who was gonna from the commission, from the Scholarship Foundation was gonna put something up at the town hall. They were selling tickets at the library. I think they're gonna do it again this Saturday. So we're trying to sell 140 tickets. That's pretty much the capacity.
You're not doing the cooking, are you?
If it means you'll come, if I don't, then I know I won't do it. But it's,
How many tickets have you sold so far?
we're probably at about, we just started, so we're probably at about 40 to 50. So,
That's good.
so the Wellington Fish and Game Club is going to help co-sponsor it and help organize it. So, which Alan is also a member of, so he's going to be there to help. He just doesn't know it
Yeah,
yet.
that's good stuff. I hope you raise plenty.
So yeah, if you guys come, that'd be great.
Remind us.
We'll do for sure.
What else we got, fellas? Is that it?
That's it.
All right, Steve, I'll get on top of getting you on this board for real and
Yeah.
get your back pay. We'll get your back pay taken care of.
Sounds good.
See you girls later.
Okay, guys,
Alright.
see ya.
Thanks.
Bye, ladies.